Here's the remainder of turn 3. AlienJake seeds an event and reveals development of civil life. That reinforces the decision from last turn not to seed an event. I could not take advantage of civil life. That was really the worst case scenario as far as events go, because that would give Jake and Claudius a free civil action I cannot use. So it's a good thing I don't seed an event. He's going to increase his population, grab printing press, even though he does not have Aristotle, and increase his population again. And finally grab reserves. So quite interesting choices. I think in his place I might have gone for Aristotle in monarchy, or at least elect Aristotle ahead of printing press. Just one more science, potentially more down the line. At this point it really looks like he's passing on Aristotle. For Claudius, he's not sitting an event. He's grabbing the monarchy. His science is weak, but he's probably going to finish. Yeah, he's going to finish the library. So he can get that monarchy going next turn. In 2 turns, although he might need to use his science elsewhere. He's picking up a knight. And that seems to be about it for Claudius. So pretty straightforward. Now, here's my turn. And oh my gosh, the card draw looks amazing. This is going to be a tricky turn to maneuver. So looking at the card draw, we have 3 strong leaders, and in fact these are the last 3 leaders with the exception of Columbus. So if I don't take any of these leaders, I'm competing with Jake for Columbus. St. Pete's is here. One of the best Age 1 wonders, can really help with basically between St. Pete's and Homer. I'm pretty much done with happiness for the foreseeable future. For 2 actions, Alchemy, Code of Laws, and Knights, really solid options. And then down the line, almost all of the remaining blue technologies are showing up. So before I decide on a political action, I know that I'm going to get development of civil life, and in my mind there's 2 options. So let's keep politics for a sec. Option 1 is to raise my population for a 1 food discount, and I think I should still be able to, even if I don't get irrigation, I should be able to get 1 more population given the current configuration. There's about 3-4 more turns until the age is done. I'm going to get 3 food and get the last population, so it's all good. So I could increase population with the event, and I really want to use the ore from Homer right now. So I could get that 3rd warrior and get the Legion to put me at 5. And right now, I think it puts some pressure on AlienJake to beef up its military. Otherwise, he's in range of aggressions. And maybe even Claudius, though honestly I'm not that concerned about Claudius. He has knights, he has Genghis Khan. He's going to be fine. He's really not the target here, but it does put some pressure on AlienJake to dedicate some of these population to military. Otherwise, I could plunder him pretty easily. So the question is, what do I do with all of my civil actions? And I think at this point, ideally, since I don't have corruption, I would like to take advantage of the card draw. And I could use Da Vinci and take Alchemy, which seems like a pretty solid next step. The challenge there is that my hand is full, so I would need to use one of these cards. I could use Engineering Genius A, and then take Alchemy. So that's one direction to take, and no corruption, military is nice, and I'm set up with a pretty strong science engine for the next turn. Another thing I could do here is to finish the pyramids, and I think that one of the common mistakes with pyramids is to finish them too soon. So I think the timing in pyramids is really critical, and I'm wondering whether this is the turn. I could use my engineering geniuses, finish the pyramids, and I have 2 actions left. And the tricky part with this is that I cannot take both a 2 civil action technology like alchemy or knights and a leader. And if I don't take a leader now, looking at Jake, I don't think he's gonna take a leader. He's pressured for military, and he has all these meeples sitting here, so neither Barbarossa nor Joan of Arc help him. So I don't think Jake is gonna take a leader either, which means the two of us are competing for Columbus. Not an ideal situation, given that I need to replace Homer so that he becomes a happy face on the pyramid. So I could skip alchemy and take one of the leaders. And given my board state and the inhabited territory, I'm wondering whether Barbarossa might be a good choice. And then I think it's highly likely that the Claudius might get the alchemy, which means that there's one alchemy left in the deck and no other science technologies. Not an ideal way to go into the next age, but it could work. I could take Barbarossa and irrigation. I could take rich land, and next turn take care of this. Put myself in a nice spot for building my military further, for taking care of territories. So there is potential here. It's a bit weak on the science, but there's other elements. So taking a step back, another thing I could do is use the development of civil life for irrigation. And the advantage here is that it really opens up my hand, and I can take alchemy and Da Vinci. And I still can't research alchemy. I mean, I could research alchemy, but I can't upgrade. And for my last action, I could use one of the engineering geniuses to work on pyramids, for example. The challenge here, of course, is that I have corruption and really no outlet to get rid of it. So I'm not really sure whether this path is ideal and whether it's worth the opening my hand and putting irrigation, which I haven't upgraded yet, and upgrading it doesn't really help me with corruption. So that seems like a pretty weak option. So I really think that the way to continue here is to raise my population, get this legend going with the stone from Homer, putting some pressure on Jake. And now, again, I could either finish the pyramids and go for Barbarossa and rich land, or I could just play one engineering genius and get alchemy and Da Vinci. And I think that the main factor deciding between these two paths is whether I want to play an event. So let's see if I want to play, if I want to seed my inhabited territory this turn. And there is a good path with Barbarossa, which prepares me for a pretty strong military in the next few turns, including taking care of territories. But what can I gain right now? And looking at the events, I actually don't think I want to trigger any of them. In this case, it's a pretty straightforward choice. I don't want any resources, so these 4 events go down. Each of them gives me 2 resources, which I can't really use right now. I guess that agriculture or trade routes will give me a 3rd food to increase population, but I'm pretty tense on civil elections right now. Religion, I don't have a person for it. Politics, I think it's going to help the others more than it helps me. Although I'm not going to draw this turn, so maybe it could help me a bit more than I think right now. And settlement, I don't think settlement helps me that much. We saw from the math that without irrigation, I'm going to get 3 food for that less population. So getting it from an event right now, I don't really see that helping me that much. So yeah, I think I'm going to skip politics. I'm going to get my population and put the pressure on AlienJake and go for alchemy and Da Vinci. And this also sets me up for an interesting next turn where I'm pretty sure that that next turn I'm going to finish the pyramids and get Da Vinci and alchemy going. So that's going to be 2 actions. I'm going to have 3 actions left. this is going to be, and this is going to be 3 actions. So I could go for Alchemy Upgrade Da Vinci, or I could grab some stuff from the card row. And we'll see which way that goes exactly. It really depends on what ends up in the low counts, and it also depends whether something like Swordsman shows up, which is pretty critical at this point. So that is the turn for now, and yeah, I don't really think this territory is going to happen right now. I'm not going to get cartography. I'm not going to have an edge with regards to territories. Question is, am I going to seed an event next turn? Honestly, I think very similar arguments to this turn are going to be relevant, so I don't think I'm going to seed an event. I think I can safely discard the inhabited territory. I'm not going to draw any military cards. And yeah, so I'm pretty happy that no swordsman showed up, because that's a high priority technology for me. It looks like Code of Laws might be available for 1 action. That's very tempting. The knights are definitely gone, and it looks like Iron might be available for 2 turns. If I replace Homer with Da Vinci, I might be able to grab Taj Mahal for no actions. And here's another monarchy, which could also be interesting. I can immediately research it. So between monarchy and pyramids, I will be pretty much set up for Age 2 as far as actions are concerned. So let's see what AlienJake and Claudius74 do.